thinks many people have the questions I have, but they can't speak them. He says, you're different. You can articulate the questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what did that mean? You know, what the hell am I articulating and everybody else is wandering around and they can't, they're having, I mean,
know the stages of
cognition. They're stuck. They don't complete it, or they don't know what to say for whatever reason.
The guys from the Omni magazine, apparently.
You go to the health food store
Yes.
or whatever?
Yeah, we're going to help us, sir. What'd you say, Scott?
The guys from Omni magazine, these are professional journalists, misrepresented the place.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get past.
Yeah, they could. They were stuck.
Now, I can see why, because they haven't studied Bob. They're interested in the scientific point of view, and this is going to offend anybody because it's a mixture of fiction or of fact and
It's like I'm such an expert at operating in fact and fiction as I'm perceived by others that I had no problem admitting my questions.
Well,
right?
Yeah, fiction could be something that's just created in the mind of an individual, but this is like a mixture of fact and mythology, or of folklore, fact and folklore.
I don't know.
Right, because the journalist goes in there and says,
science and folklore. It's mixing
science and
science,
folklore.
high non-academic and academic. That's
Right.
where they're fucking up. That's Manipian. They're going beyond the normal museum
Now,
thing.
the Omni people, they go in there, they're interested in high technology, they don't know about folklore.
Yeah.
And they just go, this isn't science.
See, they're unconscious. They have, most museums say this is folk beliefs, and that over in that room is science.
Right.
They don't tell you the difference.
Right.
That's Manipian. That's mixing up the modalities, right, Carol?
Yeah.
And I don't think they know they're doing that. I think they're fraud. You know, they
You don't think the museum knows it, or
yeah,
Omni magazine?
No,
knows it?
David Wilson. Why are they miscategorizing?
Oh, I think he knows he's doing it.
Well, then he is got an agenda.
That makes him.
That means he's
that does make
satirical.
him an
That
artist.
makes him Manipian. And then he fucking lied to me. He's goddamn satirical.
I thought I saw a little crack of a smile.
Yeah, I think they are funny. That was Bob meeting
I
his
think
mirror
he-
Bob. That was the anti-Bob, for fuck's sake.
That's why he had to pray to.
Yeah, oh my God, Bob's here, the
about to
ultimate.
blow my cover.
And it was being taped. Yeah, see, that's what's interesting. He was fucking. There was no son of it guy. Or no, the content is real, but the way he presents it is the hidden agenda.
that's it, it's the presenting.
Yeah.
Because if Omni goes in there and says, they're presenting a bat that flies through walls, he's not getting in the museum's case, he's getting in the case of the culture that...
He should have got on the museum's case like I started to. I said, you guys are lying.
See, you know what
That's
I
a Manipian environment.
You're talking about making a time capsule. That place is a time capsule. Finally, where I arrived at was, I'm not in the 20th century anymore. I'm in the 13th century, and I'm walking through what it's really like.
Wait a minute, do that again. You arrived at in thinking before we did the interview. You've decided that
At some point in the museum, I had the realization, or the distinct feeling that I just went through a time tunnel to the past, and I'm experiencing
which is Jurassic, you know, an extinct period, right?
Yeah, I'm experiencing what it was like to live in the 12th century, or whenever this was what it was like then. And back then, of course, this was all presented as real.
They didn't even
People
present it. They
believed
lived.
it.
Yeah,
They
they
lived
lived
it.
in it. It wasn't something
It
in a
was-
class case.
This was, yeah, this is he's taking.
See, that's my alphabetic point. The
chunk of
alphabetic cultures can appropriate. The museum appropriates, takes the thing out of context. You know what I mean? And puts it in a framework, and the culture that can do that is not in the folklore zone, which was a climate the folklores lived in, right? That's the alphabetic thing.
Part of the strange theater of this place is just the way you enter through this sort of quasi-industrial rundown.
Yeah.
This is no place for a museum.
Oh, you mean the environment, the street?
Yeah, the street.
Yeah.
And then
It seems to be theatrical. It seems to be theatrical.
Yeah.
So, but still, what do you say? You agree with me that he is a Manipian and doesn't know it?
Maybe, possibly.
Why is he saying he's not satirizing? He says he's serious, but why is he doing a sloppy job of miscategorizing?
Because he'd lose all his credibility as a museum.
What do you mean a sloppy job of miscategorizing?
Look, when we saw this weird Doug's breath right beside the fucking sauna bins of Wilson's, right?
Yeah.
And one is sort of a beliefs, a non-scientific folk thing, and the other is really happened. Yet You sort of you think it's a folk culture
I
thing.
thought they both really happened.
They both really happen, right? But one is science and one is non-science.
No,
That's what he does. He doesn't tell you how to think about it. Like the sign method.
Right.
Never said, well, this was a theory this guy had. Nobody believes it. It's an absolute whack, but he did.
But I didn't even think it existed.
Yeah, but what else he said about this guy was that this guy was a heavyweight in the institution of Harvard University.
Yeah.
So he obviously was making contributions to reality on some level.
Yeah.
But he, in his own
It
mind,
came and went.
He was trying to get into the metaphysical.
It was right. And the fucking incredible irony on top of it, it related to our fucking life this week. See, that's the weird, we can't even talk to him about that level, you know what I mean? The Thompson, the conic, that's my chart, my fucking chart, is the conic sections divided into 5 parts. The 5 platonic solids come from the cone, maybe you don't know that. That's where the 5 platonic solids come from, the cone. And the thing that, you know, the plane, the experience plane, you slice the cone, I'll show you at home, it slices in different ways.
Stop waving your arms around, Bob. I can smell it.
Okay, but I'm still going back. What is he mixing? And why doesn't he? Isn't there a?
Because he's
categorized. He doesn't put us.
But that's what museums do.
No,
that's what museums do. They categorize.
He doesn't.
Yeah, and what he said was, you know, about some of these.
That's a postmodern attitude. Not to be a museum. It's not a museum.
He could talk everything that you question. He could bring in. He could talk extensively on.
Yeah.
So he's done this. He's bringing in stuff that
He knows his
you
stuff.
can research.
Yeah.
You can find out for yourself. You can find out the interrelationship of all the relationships of these things in their time.
But see, that's
period.
where he's a Manipian museum. It's like Joyce. Joyce doesn't tell you what the fucking book means. Finnegan's Wake. You know what I mean? It's a simple fact. He doesn't do the museum function, which is to tell you what things are. He only tells you half the story, but he mixes up different things so that you don't, you're not told which is which. He's not being a museum, and that's a Manipian museum, even though it looks like a museum.
Well, he's presenting. He's going back and he's dipping back into time. He's finding an environment that's made up of people's beliefs, factual information, and so on. He takes a piece of that, he brings it into the present, and he goes, I am not going to be the arbitrator to say whether or not bats really fly through walls. This great thinker at Harvard made many contributions in different areas, developed out this science of bats flying through walls. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm not the one to critique.
But he labeled it.
I'm not the one to critique whether or not the theory is true. I'm just bringing it in to show
what he
you
did,
this
he
is
mixed
what
up a
somebody
science.
said.
He mixed up a guy analyzing from one culture bats physiologically and how they communicate, right? And he labeled that thing a folk myth in a certain region of the world that names those bats devils. He mixed 2 fucking cultures. We agree with that, Carol? He mixed 2 cultures in. He mixed 2 cultures in the labeling. That's Manipian. He's mixing it up. I mean, the 2 things aren't related.
He has a palette of cultural world history, and he's dabbing a little paint from over here, a little paint from over here, and mixing the 2 to create a new tint.
Which is not what a museum does. A museum says this is what happened then, and that's what happened here. You're in the Eskimo region.
Before you decide that that's really what happened, you should go back and interview him some more on these fine, subtle points, because you may find out that.
Well, I've got to go through
story.
it. Yeah, I've got to go back there and look at him, look at it as fact.
It's just like when you said, there's no guy that made those things on the ends of a needle, and then you found out
there was.
That there was.
No, I didn't think. I knew someone did it, but I didn't think it was someone way back.
Yeah, I know, but you found out that it was. He has an extensive.
But see that I'm filtering it through the Omni presentation of what's fact or fiction. Like I was shifting over into, I was taking the fictional aspect of the museum that the Omni said is there, and putting it into mixing it up and not knowing where the fact began and where the fiction ended. Right?
Right.
So I would go back there now knowing what is fact and reread everything.
Right. Then find if you can
then see if there's a mixture.
See if there's a place you can drive a wedge to his.
Yeah, we have to do
his theater and
see how he responds at that point.
Yeah. Because he may have a good answer for everything you can come up with.
Oh,
that place may have.
Lose.
That place.
Are we going left?
You're never going to crap.
Left.
You're never gonna crack Bob Dobbs. He has an answer for everything. That's the ultimate point,
that
right?
guy's not gonna blow it. He's got 15 years behind.
That place
Left at the light.
I'm gonna come in as the fucking the government Department of Museums from the Smithsonian and say you fucking guys aren't following museum rules, and we're gonna investigate this place. You know what I
Anybody
mean?
can start a museum.
He's mixing his metaphors.
Yeah.
There's a there's a UFO
E.J. Gold
museum.
has a museum in Grass Valley, the Museum of Modern and Ancient Art.
There's
So-
a museum for UFO.
Yeah, but you went there and you probably weren't disoriented, or maybe you were disoriented. The point is you were disoriented.
This place may be a seamless web.
Yeah.
It may have total integrity. There may be no place that you can find a flaw in his work. Or he may, like great painters in the past who in Asia would always leave a little flaw.
But look at the
or an
intro.
imperfection in their work, you know, just
But look at the intro. The intro's a total fake. And when
Right.
the Jurassic is the greatest museum that exists, you know, all that
Oh, yeah,
exaggeration. That is
Because it's
fucking a lie.
Carrying on the tradition. You know what his
what was
favorite
the story
movie is?
again about how they derived the name of the Jurassic Museum?
I don't remember. They just said they showed fucking pictures of weird big places, way bigger than that little place, and saying warehouses, saying that was the original version of this place, which was partly true because it probably goes back to that Mary woman, Owen Thome.
Show me your thumb.
Yeah, the thumb guy.
Didn't he say
Show
the
me-
original home place of the museum was in Europe, and then this was like a satellite extension?
No.
No, there was an extension of them now in somewhere else. But the thumb guys were he showed photos of the thumb guys, and that was probably accurate. But we never knew that there was a thumb
Right.
derivative, so we thought that he exaggerated the services of their museum, that we're a great institution, right? And that's probably totally true because of what Thumb did. But nobody knows it's a great museum. You have to go back and begin with the original introduction and see what's fact. You know what I mean? Right?
Right.
Because they don't tell you. They're showing you pictures. Here's the point. He left out the information. It's like shoddy museum work. He showed us a picture of these fucking warehouses, and we know that thing started 15 years ago. Did not have those warehouses 700 or
They
70,
could have been
50
his
years ago.
storage warehouse.
You see whose
Right
storage?
after the
Thumb
light.
storage. Whose storage, Jerry? Thumb storage, right?
Could be Thumb's
yeah,
or his.
they did not mention Thumb. That's where you get the
No,
sense
it could be his storage.
Who's he?
David's. It could have been
Did
his.
you see the people? They were dressed in Victorian clothing, Jerry.
No, it wasn't Victorian clothing.
Wasn't it, Carolyn?
No.
Carolyn just said yes. You're wrong.
In the storage costumes?
Yes,
No,
it's
in
from
the
the
storage.
20s.
No, in the